Hello, and welcome to my channel, Forever Altered. If you've ever been with a narcissist or you're currently in a relationship with a narcissist, you'll understand why I decided to name my channel Forever Altered. Because once you find yourself in this type of a situation, I think your brain is forever altered, and nothing is ever quite the same. Today, I want to go into a discussion about the opportunistic relationship, the opportunistic partnership with a narcissist. A narcissist has to have that type of relationship in order to function, basically. So if you're with a narcissist, you're in a relationship with one, there's one thing you can guarantee, and that is that you are being manipulated. Guaranteed, you are being manipulated in probably a multitude of ways. The longer you're with your narcissist, probably, especially if they live in your home, the more clouded your judgment is likely becoming. So a good start is to ask yourself just this one simple question, which is what I want to talk about today. Why did he pick me? Why did she pick me? I know you would love to think about or assume that it was because there was some strong attraction, that you were the love of their life, they loved your personality, they saw something in you that was amazing, they felt you were their soulmate. All of these things that you would hope in a normal relationship are probably not the reason why you were picked. You were picked because you have traits in your personality that made you an easy target. You were picked because he knew that you would be easily manipulated and that you would be able to meet the needs that he has and be controllable and be a great source of supply. That is the reason you were picked. If you are with a narcissist or you have been in the past, know that you are or were an enabler. You have to be an enabler in order for them to get the job done, in order for them to be able to continue their games and continue their behaviors. They have to have someone allowing it, and that is you. So whether you are aware of it or not, or whether you're willingly doing it or you're not, you're still an enabler. A narcissist must have a source of supply in which to get their needs met. You are that supply, or at least you are their main supply. More than likely, they have other supplies on the back burner. Here's the main course here in the oven, but I've got all these little side things going just in case this one gets fed up, or I leave it in the oven too long and it burns. So you are their supply. That is how they view you. So in my experience, there are two main types of people that narcissists target. And although a lot of the characteristics sort of overlap, or maybe there's just a line that distinguishes between the two, these are two basic personality types, I guess I would say, that seem to be targeted by a narcissist. Notice how I didn't say they're attracted to these types of personalities, because that would imply that there's a normal relationship. And if you are in one of these relationships, normal is not what you're experiencing at all. So I've researched a lot on this topic, and it's easy to see that one type of person that they target is a codependent person. And you've probably heard that term before, codependent. This type of person is identified by the following traits and characteristics. They are usually very submissive, and they are thought to have very low self-esteem, very unsure of their self and of their own decision-making process, of their appearance, of their intelligence, whatever. They don't feel they have a high regard for themselves. They tend to rationalize the behaviors and actions of others so they can put an acceptable spin on it. That works well for the narcissist, because when they act out, the codependent person will forgive, will make excuses for, will rationalize why. Well, they were really upset. Well, that did really hurt their feelings. They were going to rationalize the behavior, which is awesome for the narcissist, because that just means they can get by with a tiny bit more, a little bit more. As long as they can keep you in that mode, it's all good. They also take on the issues of other people as if they were their own. They take responsibility for other people's issues, like take responsibility for solving the problem, for dealing with the effects of the issues, as opposed to, recognizing the issue and saying, here's your problem, here's my suggestion, and then, allowing the person to take some accountability for their own issue. The codependent person is going to be trying to go out there and figure out solutions for that problem for that person. So they also don't have clear boundaries. They probably start out with the best of intentions, but they let too many things slide. They, as they're making excuses and rationalizing behaviors and taking on the issues, they're just, letting it slide. I should have said something, but I didn't, and before you know it, the behaviors or the lack of boundaries and the narcissist's ability to just impede on you without any repercussions or you stopping them and drawing a line in the sand becomes habit. And it gets harder to break out of that cycle when it's established itself like that. They have a caretaker mentality. They are always looking for a project, and they make this person and their issues their project. And they are very reactive, and generally they're people pleasers. So the narcissist in my life is good at throwing out the word insecure. And to me, he's trying to point out that I have low self-esteem, and that never sat well with me, because I really didn't feel either of those qualities. I didn't feel insecure, and I didn't feel I had low self-esteem, at least not before I met him. In all my prior relationships with, significant others, but as well with just people in general, at work and so forth, I didn't feel that way. I actually felt the opposite. I felt quite confident, and I felt like I had a perfectly fine self-esteem. Everybody has, little things they would like to change about themselves, but it was not an issue for me. So in reading and researching the qualities and tactics of a narcissist, I often run across information that says that when they accuse you of something, they're actually projecting, and that is actually the issue or thought or belief that they have or that they're doing. So if you are accused of cheating, then there's a good chance that they're the ones cheating. So that would follow that if you are insecure, that really it's them that's insecure and have a low self-esteem. But it seems like there's more to the story than that. There's still that question of, how was I picked, lingering. If you truly don't fit into the codependent mold, then what are you? And I would say that you're likely an empath. Empaths are, they're empathic. They feel empathy for others. They easily connect with people on an emotional level, and they often gain an intuitive sense and understanding of another person's mental or emotional state of mind. There's a fine line between being empathic and being codependent, but I would say either one tastes just as good to the narcissist. The narcissist is opportunistic, and they'll choose a partner based on how well they can be manipulated compared to all of the other potential supply sources that they are currently working with. So the more willing to give and the more willing to forgive you are, the more he knows he has you in the bag. I wanted to share a piece of audio that I have of my NARC actually admitting that he chose one of his ex-girlfriends because she was an easy target. He was currently at that point in his life without a place to live. He was on the run from the police, and he hooked up with this woman on a dating site. And he was basically just looking for a place to live. And bear with me because I'm going to stop the video and try to find the little clip, and then I will play it for you. But it's very telling when you actually have them dead to rights on audio, actually admitting what you know to be true, but what they would never willingly admit to you. So I thought that it was a good way to end the video about the opportunistic partnership by exposing a NARC actually admitting that was his whole plan, was he picked someone because they were an easy target. Okay, I found it.
Went from what I was saying, important, making sense, to talking about, let me tell you what you're talking about, a complete, basic piece of shit mom who literally went, done all that stuff.
But you say the same stuff about me, John. You say I'm a piece of shit mom.
I'm going to tell you that you're a piece of shit mom who stayed with some dude, molested your child, and she stayed with him anyway to have her son be tortured by the other two older brothers just to keep a man and her money from the man. So she has, blah, 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 and then just man to man and meet someone on, whatever, tattooing, and tell them to come in your house with your kid, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, no. I would assume that's what I feared, but I would assume you wouldn't do that. I'm not talking about you. I'm saying you're talking about this person. That person was complete shit, no bullshit. Why do you think she was picked? And so easy to just jump in and move from one location to the other.
What do you mean, why do you think she was picked?
I tattooed her one time. And she said, you ever did it? Because she's stupid. She's complete gaga overseeing a man.
So you picked her because you knew she was stupid and vulnerable.
No,
that's what you're saying?
I need a place to go. We're trying to be done with you. You're not that. Your attempts at it are pathetic, but they are. Well, and
anyway,
it doesn't matter because why'd you pick Stephen?
Okay, so I stopped it and probably didn't make a real smooth transition in my video, but I got my point across hopefully, and that is that this is just one situation where the NARC was caught actually saying that he picked someone because he needed a place to go and they were stupid enough to take him in. So that's all I wanted to say, and basically that's the gist of the video. I just wanted to point out that narcissists are opportunists, and that as much as it hurts to hear something like that, it's easy for me to look at it and say, well, that's what he did with her. You can't fool yourself into thinking that you're different, because that's their pattern, that's their modus operandi, so to speak, and that reveals itself occasionally, and you can actually have some concrete evidence to prove what you know in your heart to be true. So that's all I have for today. I hope you'll give it some thought, and together maybe we can make sense of why we end up in these narcissistic relationships and what we can do to get out of them and to never have to be put in a situation like this again. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. It's growing a little every day, and I would love to hear your comments and have some good discussion about the topics that I'm presenting. If you know of other topics you would like to talk about within this realm of narcissism or of child loss, because it's another area that I address, please feel free to share those in the comments, and I will address them. Thank you, and have a great day.